Hey everyone, it's me, Jacqueline again. I just wanted to basically discuss a little bit more, get into the first couple of topics that I said in my intro. As I stated, I'm Jacqueline. I'm from Wisconsin, and this is pretty much me sharing my experiences with some personal stuff that I went through, and I would like to share it with everybody just because I want my story heard. I want others who have gone through the same, to speak up, voice how they're feeling and how they cope and deal with it, and basically reach out to each other so they feel like they're not left, like, feeling like they cannot come to talk to anybody about some of it. Some of the topics I want to talk about, I'm going to get into is, first of all, the intro. Basically, so my story started when I had my son Caden. He is with my parents right now, and because I have to work second and third shift, and I had him when I was young. I was 18, a senior in high school, and I basically grew up in a very strict Lutheran Christian family. I went to parochial school all my life up until senior year, and that's when I found out I was pregnant with my son. He is now going on 12. He'll be 12 this coming spring, and his father just basically went MIA, started talking to me, stopped talking to me, didn't really come around at all during my pregnancy and throughout my son's life. He struggled with drugs. He struggled with alcoholism. I'm not 100% on all the details because we were only together for a month up, and then I found out I was pregnant. Now, I guess the why I didn't go around about, obviously, sex like I should have, but I feel like my son is a blessing. Even though he was a surprise baby, I'm sure some people who are watching this have gone through this. Whether you're single, you're married, you're not married, etc. So that news, my family didn't take it very well, and they basically, I almost chose adoption, open adoption for my son, up until I was at least 4 to 6 months along, and I felt like I couldn't give him up, just because I felt him moving inside of me, and I felt like at the time that adoption was a selfish thing me thinking of adoption was a selfish thing at first. Now that I look back on it, I don't regret my decision that I made. I was going to a parochial Lutheran high school at the time, and I was given the choice that due to the fact that I found out I was pregnant, I had to go to basically talk to the vice principal, talk to the principal, and the school board, making a decision and what to do about my education. Whether I stay there and do more homeschooling and get my credits at home or whatever. But the only two options they basically gave me was either you drop out or you leave, take the year off and graduate in 2009 with class of 2009. My parents and I were like, yeah, okay. She came this far, I came this far, so I basically unenrolled there and finished my senior year of high school at my local public high school. I'm from Watertown originally, and the high school I was going to was in Lake Mouse, and I'm not going to give out names, I'm not going to give all details out, but it's understandable because I did violate the school policy, and it is, for being the religion, they're very, they, sex before marriage is broad in their eyes. Having children out of wedlock is not what God's intentions are, and not what He would want, is what we kind of pretty much were taught to learn. I don't know how to verbally explain it. We were basically told. But now that I've gone through that, it's changed me. My son's father stopped communicating altogether. He wound up doing illegal things that got him in legal trouble, so he's been in and out of jail and in and out of prison since since I was pregnant. And I know it's like, well, why did you get involved with him in the first place, you idiot? I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, I was 18 and naive and not very wise. I was attracted to the bad boy type. I still kind of am, but I'm not really dating anyone at this point right now, so so that changed me to basically have a lot of trust issues, have a lot of issues with confidence and with trust issues, relationships issues like you would have in a normal relationship. I probably have, and then further going into, moving along, I dated a lot and tried to attempt to date a lot of guys who physically and verbally abused me. And I was with my my ex-fiance for like 2-3 years. And this was back in 2013 to 2015. And he was going untreated for schizophrenia and bipolar. And he verbally abused me as soon as me and my son moved in with him. And I was like 20-ish, 24, 25 at the time. I don't even remember. I'm 30 now. And he verbally abused me day in, day out. He would tell me I'm worthless. He would tell me I'm hopeless. He would tell me you don't do anything, you're lazy, you're just all these vile things. And I got to my point where in my past, before I was with him, I was seeking counseling on and off because my postpartum depression after my son was born was really bad. And with what I went through with my family, with the issues that we did, we basically had issues of, my parents didn't want me to have another surprise child, and they basically were up on their high horse about, and I can understand, they were really, really like, we don't want you to ever have any more children. I had a lot of issues with my depression, and they basically have made it very clear that they don't want me to ever have any more children. And that really hurts because I've gone through, and I don't want to actually get into that till later. I'm going to start getting into that. I have kept my promise to them to not have any more children because my life has basically been not always getting 100% of their help and support, but some kind of help and support from them. Whether it's pretty much renting from them, some property they own, like right now, I'm in the process of going to be renting the farmhouse from them that we live in. And, sorry. Just some of the issues that we've basically gone through have been really, really, really hard. They basically made it clear that they don't want me to have any more kids with anybody. And it's like, what if I eventually marry somebody who is a lot better than my ex, my son's father is? My son's father's family has nothing to do with us, which really, really takes a toll on our whole entire family dynamics and our whole relationship. And back to what I was talking about, I was with my abusive ex, who is mentally unstable. He got to a point where he was verbally abusing me every day. And I'm sorry, I'm jumping around here. I started self-harming, and I started attempting suicide, and almost every other day I felt like I was not living up to expectations in my life. I wasn't living the life I wanted to be living. I was working in a fast food restaurant part-time, and I wanted to eventually do full-time, but I wanted to focus on my mental health first to make sure I was getting the proper treatment and care. I have experience being on multiple medications, multiple dosages to help with my depression and anxiety, and after going through what I did with him and the abandonment from my son's father, I've been doing therapy. I once was hospitalized back in December of 2013 to January 2014, and yes, it's going on 3 years since I was hospitalized, the first hospitalization, and I have not relapsed. Well, I did relapse in October of 2016, and ever since then, I have not relapsed. I have attempted self-harming a couple ways, and my family knows about it. It's no secret to them. They stopped me. My ex-husband stopped me, and a few times, and this is getting to a very touchy subject, but I've been doing therapy ever since June or July of 2016, and I got involved with my ex-husband, and we were together I jumped into my relationship with him, and then we got married, and he was going untreated for his bipolar and his mood disorders. And he is now seeking it. He's now getting the help he needs, which is great. And we're actually getting to be in a civil place, even after the fact that we got divorced. He got physical with my son one time, and he got physical with me multiple times. And it's a very touchy subject, because I work in the healthcare field as a caregiver, as a CNA, and it's very hard to go from struggling with some of the stuff that you treat your own patients for, your own residents for, and clients for, and go through it yourself, and go through it with people that you are romantically involved with and care about. I don't care about my ex-fiance, but I still honestly deep down care about my ex-husband. I wish him the best. We were best friends, and we were pretty close friends before we even got romantically involved. I know some of that he's gone through abuse in his childhood, so it was kind of like he repeated the cycle. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, why would you care about somebody who hurts your child? And why would you still wish him the best and whatnot? I seen him when we were going into therapy, when we were legally separated and whatnot. I did see a change. Not really when we were going to therapy, but now I've been, like, I talk to him and I see a change. Not see a change, but I hear a change in him. He's been telling me he's been going to see this therapist, and I am very aware of the fact that he is telling me the truth, because of the fact that I would be going to my own appointments or leaving there, and he'd be leaving there or going too. So he's not been lying to me about that, and I'm proud of the fact that he's making a change and he's putting effort into getting the help he needs. Unlike some have refused to, and like my son's father refuses to get help. He's been in prison for most of my son's life and doesn't want to change anything. He doesn't want to get help. He refuses to get help. And I've offered resources to him in the past. I've offered him to get help. And he was out of prison and jail at one time when my son was 3 or 4. And I only knew about 3 months, and he went back to jail and back to prison shortly after being convicted of some illegal stuff he did. He didn't take my advice. He didn't take off my offer, accept my help or anything. So I'm a type of person where it's like, words are just words. Actions speak louder than words. If you're gonna tell me you care, show that you care. If you tell me you love me, you should show it. Not just by words, but by actions. So, that being said, as of Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, I will be 3 years strong from my first hospitalization and not relapsing with it at all, not attempting self-harm, not going back to the hospital and getting more help. I'm very proud of the fact, and that's basically some of the stuff that I wanted to touch base about. Some of the other stuff I'll touch base on next week, especially with the topics going into about my dad's cancer and more into my legal separation and about my divorce and details about that. So thanks for watching. Take care, and I hope you guys have a good weekend wherever you are, whatever day it is there. I know it's different throughout the whole world and whatnot, but take care, and don't go without a moment of telling your loved ones and those who are close to you that you love and care about them. Honestly, is what I'm learning, especially this year. I won't go into saying why until next time. But take care. Bye.